Alright everybody, welcome back. We're going to talk about our WEBULL trade we got going on, and we're going to discuss some mistakes that I made on that trade, and hopefully it'll help you not make the same mistakes. So let's get into it. So we got in our WEBULL. We have been sitting here watching the consolidation go on and on and on, and trying to figure out the best place to get in. And then we saw this bounce and it pulled back, and so we waited in here for the next time that it tried to put in a nice little bar, and we got it at about 11 bucks. Okay, so we loaded up at 11 bucks, and we got this nice bar in right here, this nice push up. That day was on June 30th. We got this nice push, this bar. Alright, and then we got some consolidation, and then we got another nice push in this bar. Okay, then we were heading into the July 3rd and the 4th, where the 4th was on a Friday, which was a holiday, and long weekends, 3-day weekend. I wasn't sure with all the stuff that was going on whether or not I wanted to sit into the trade, and so I had planned on pulling some out. Not all of it, but some of it. Okay, now mind you, I had only bought 100 shares down here. Okay, at $11. So I was up pretty good, pushing up and through here at 11. But at about $12 and right in here somewhere, I think it was about $12.68, I thought I'd add a little bit. And I had it to where I would add another 100 shares, but I had it 25. So as it pulled back, I would get it at a lower price and then take off. Well, I was only able to fill 25 shares at $12.68. And so now I'm up 125 shares at, I forget what my dollar cost average price was, but it was a little bit higher than when I bought in at 11, but I was still prepared to hold it back down below this $10 area in here, which was my stop, was below this bar. Alright, now normally I would move it to this bar here. Okay, but I wasn't that much into the, as far as I was concerned, that little 25 shares I put in there, it wasn't going to cost me that much as it pulled back further down if it was to take this bar out. Okay, so I wasn't too concerned with how much I was going to lose on that, because I was going to take a little bit off up here anyway. Okay, so as it did this, as we got higher, I decided that, and here's where I screwed up. I decided I'd buy 200 shares on the 3rd, about 200 shares at about $14 and some change. And it was, let me see, 200 shares. I bought 200 shares at $14.50. So up here, $14.50. So I basically had bought in, we were way high already. And I don't know what I was thinking. I figured what I would do is just buy it. If it ran up good, I'd take a little bit off, and I'd be sitting, even a little bit fatter. And if it didn't, I'd just cut it short, and then I'll just take some profits off out of what I had purchased already down and through here. Well, the mistake is that when I bought that 200 shares, this was my second trading account. I have 2 trading accounts, and this account I didn't change from there is still set for first in, first out. And I didn't change it from first in, first out to last in, first out, which is what I would rather it be, last in, first out, because like I said, I like to wait before I get into a trade. And so my first lot that I buy, if I add to it, I want that add to come out before the original start of the trade, if that makes any sense. And I'm learning how to adjust from it. Alright, I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I just thought I'd put it out there for you guys to know, and to so you don't have to experience what I experienced. Hopefully I'm not too late for you, but definitely you want to be, if you trade the way I trade, meaning you're buying low and you're selling high, and if you decide to add to your trade, you want your last in, first out, not your first in, first out. Now let's talk about the trade. Alright, so we're getting some pullback coming back into here. We're looking like we're back into the support area, and here at around $12.48. $12 would probably be more of a support area as well, as we see this pin bar here on this day push down. And this is a 4-hour chart, okay, so these are 4-hour bars. Okay, so on this day here, which was that's the 7th of July. Yeah, wait a minute. 7th. Yeah, 7th of July. Alright. We got a little pin bar came in, pushed down to about $11.91. Okay. Which puts us, around in here, in this support area here. Okay, we'll put a price on there just so we can see it. Alright, about $11.92. Alright, so roughly $12, okay. $11.92 is another support area, okay, and where we can probably start over. We're still within our original push-up at that point. Alright, that puts us probably at about 50% of that original push. Okay, so let's take our drawing tool. We'll get our quadrant lines. We'll say we'll throw it here at the bottom. Push it up to where we pushed up in that first trade, that first bar, about right there. Right. Make it where you can see it better. Alright, so that 1192, about 1195 according to this first bar when we jumped in here, is our halfway point on that bar. Alright, anything below that we probably want to think about cutting the trade short and starting over, waiting for the complete bottom. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to probably pull back down in here a little bit more and then take off again. Alright, so I'm DCAing coming down into here. Alright, and then once I figure out how much I'm willing to risk, then I'll probably either cut it short, or if it doesn't turn around and head back up. But I'm waiting for a chance to buy all the shares that I sold. I'm going to buy them back down in here once it finds its bottom. I'm going to load up again and wait for the takeoff. But yeah, that's kind of what happened to me in this trade, and well, not what happened to me, what I did to myself in this trade. Let me rephrase that, okay? Because like I said, I hadn't gone in and set this, gone into the back office and set this up the way I really rather have it trade. And I'm starting to think now, as I'm talking to you about this, is that I may just go on and set it up now and not even worry about, you know, the rest of it. And just set up to last in, first out. And then if it does, if it does continue to sell off, I'm going to sell it all anyway, and, you know, and lick my wounds and move on. And remember that, you know, that you know, the mistake that I made here. Now I got it on tape. I got it put out there for the world to hear and learn and know from it. So I probably won't forget this. You know what I mean? And so my trading behavior isn't going to change. I'm going to still, you know, buy low and sell high. And I'm still going to add in areas like this. The thing I'm not going to do is make sure I'm not going to allow my account to sell the shares I bought down here first before selling these shares that I buy up here. If that makes any sense to you. Alright, so remember to set your account up to, if you trade or plan on trading the way I trade, remember to set your account up to last in, first out, and not first in, first out. Okay? They probably get a lot of new traders that way, you know, because we're always trying to add to our positions. So, yeah, the 7th was that Monday, so we gapped down. Alright. And got a little bit of a bounce, and now we're starting to sell off and try to find a bottom down in here somewhere. So most likely we'll find our bottom here and here somewhere between at least 1133 and 1235 is what I suspect. In which in this area I'm going to load up and ride it back up. I believe this stock is going to continue to run back higher. It just may, you know, after this, it's going to find a footing somewhere before heading higher. And I believe it's going to be in this area here somewhere between 1235 and 1133. But we'll see. All right. But in the meantime, I'm going to have to, you know, sell it short to kind of hedge this position that I got that I stuck myself in up here. I have been hedging a little bit. I hedged all last week in that other account. So the only problem, of course, is, you know, lately the I don't want to say the exchange, but Thinkorswim has been charging quite a bit for trying to sell shares short. Sell shares short for shorting the stock. So the profit margin isn't as great as it used to be. So that's just another thing that we have to contend with as we do this. You know, but then you also have those tax implications on these losses too. So, you know, you can always go for that and just settle for the tax implication at the end of the year when you file your taxes, and just take the loss on it and get out and buy back in. So that's another option that you can try, or another way of protecting your losses. So yeah, that's all I got for you on WEBULL. I hope it helps you out. I definitely have learned something that I had known, but I hadn't had to deal with for quite some time until I opened up the second account. And now I'm like, oh man, I forgot to fix that. So, you know, it happens. There's things that we run into, there's issues we're going to run into, and we live, we learn from them, and we continue on and trades. So, yeah, you know, just do your thing. And remember, Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and be careful out there. These markets are crazy.